Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial and Mom, and today we're going to talk about a new show on Bravo called Love Without Borders Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2, Thank God for Red Underwear. Before we begin, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, leave your comments, and share this video. And if you're interested, we also have a membership that's available. The information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's get started. So Love Without Borders is a new show on Bravo, and it was suggested by one of our subscribers, so thank you, you know who you are. It's a show about 5 singles living here in the United States who have been unlucky in love and have reached out to a matchmaker by the name of Erica Angelo, who matches these singles with possible matches abroad. And one thing that the singles don't know is where they're going until they actually get a call from her, and they have to be packed and ready at the last minute. So they find out at the actual airport. So let's meet the singles that's on this show. The first is GURLEEN. GURLEEN defines herself as a fierce independent who works in IT and she's looking for a long-term relationship. She's tired of the dating hookup scene. PHILLIP is a rising musician. He's living in Atlanta. He's also looking for long-term relationships. He's been unlucky in love and feels this is the right course for him to take with Erica. Then we have Dana. She's 38. She's a singer-songwriter. She describes herself as a free spirit. She lives in her van. She travels to different places to sing and do what she does to entertain. So she has been unlucky in love and has also turned to Erica for help finding her long-term match. Then we have Aaron. He's 31. He's an optometrist. He lives in Fargo, North Dakota. He used to live in LA with his ex. They were into the dance scene, and or maybe the ex was in a dance scene since he's an optometrist. That didn't work out because Aaron said that he was ghosted, so he moved back home to North Dakota. He's been on dating apps and always seems to find like only 3 matches that match him, and he's just not here for that anymore. He has turned to Erica again for his long-term love, his fairy tale. Finally, we have NAEEM. He's a social worker who describes himself as easygoing. He lives outside of Houston, and he is also here to find love and hopes that Erica can help him in that department. So let's get started. To begin, Erica, the relationship expert, introduces us to GURLEEN. Like I said, she describes herself, GURLEEN, as a fiery, independent woman. She is ready to find love because she feels that that dating scene, the hookup scene is not what she's into. She's looking for something long-term. She's at a particular age where her friends have started families and have families, career, husbands, things like that. And she's wanting that for herself right now because she feels it's time. So when she meets up with Erica, she says that she's apprehensive to the process, but at the same time, she wants to go with the process because, again, she's not having any luck. Erica tells her, hey, we found you a match, so are you ready to go? GURLEEN is ready, so they make their way to the airport. So, of course, like I said in the beginning, none of these singles know who they're matched with or where they're going till they get to the airport. So now that GURLEEN is there, she finds out that she's going to Dubai. Before they get on the plane, Erica, the relationship expert, gives them money, the address to where they're going, and their visa. Now their visa they have 12 weeks to get their potential match. Now they can stay out to wherever they're going for that whole entire period of time or until their visa runs out and they have to come back home. And then we see her finally make it to Dubai. So as GURLEEN is making her way to the address, of course she's nervous, but at the same time, she's saying that, you know, she's happy to be somewhere where people look like her and possibly can understand her. She realizes that even though she's not familiar with the culture, she's hoping that she doesn't make the wrong moves or maybe embarrass herself or, you know, just something. I think in a way she's saying not to be like ignorant to the culture, their belief systems and values, that she doesn't want to step on that. She wants to learn about the people, you know, everything when she's there. So now she made it to the address. And again, she doesn't know who it is, doesn't even know what their name is. None of these couples do. She knocks on the door and a lady answers. She's like, hi. You know, at first thinking like, is this my match or whatever? And the lady goes, hi. And then up steps, his name is Sharif. Sharif is her match. Sharif is, I believe they said 28. He's a fashion model. And one thing about Sharif is he lives at home with his parents in a blended nuclear family. And so Gurleen walks in, she says hello, she meets the sister, that's who answers the door, the mom, the dad. They make her, I think they're very welcoming. I didn't see anything where they were like shading her or anything like that. I think they made her feel as welcome as they could. But see, the thing about Gurleen is she gives some interesting information later on about her past that I'll mention to you in just a moment. So as she walks in, she's getting acquainted with everyone. She sits down and, you know, they ask her all kind of questions about her background and things like that, where she's from. And she says that her family's from India. And they asked if she spoke the language. She said she spoke one of the language, but understood the other. I'm not sure if it was Hindu or whichever one. She spoke one and could understand the other. So she said that she went to India when she was an infant with her grandmother and then came back to the States when she was 4 years old. So she thought her grandma was her mother this whole time, but you know, she doesn't have any recollection of visiting India, but she knows she was there and her family was from there. So is familiar with the background and how, you know, the Indian lifestyle is, even though she grew up in America. The family was like, oh, okay. You know, they told a little bit about their family being from Dubai and things like that. So after the conversation with the family, Sharif shows Gurleen around. So he's showing her the different rooms, things like that. And so when Sharif got to the room that Gurleen's going to stay in, that's the room that Sharif, and I hope I'm saying his name right, sleeps in. She's like, so where are you going to sleep? He said, oh, well, you know, the couch will be okay. And so that kind of put Gurleen off a little bit. So when producers are talking to her, like, you know, is this what you expect? Things like that. She goes, yeah, well, not really. I was hoping to be like more one-on-one. I didn't really think it would be like a family dynamic too. And so when producers asked, so what do you think about him? Are you attracted to him? She said, yes, she is attracted to him. But at the same time, she also said he's not the kind of man that she would actually date. She said her first impression was he looked like Aquaman. And in a way, I could kind of see where she would get that with the beard and the long hair and all. But, you know, I mean, if you put your time into a relationship person, a relationship expert to help you meet someone, again, like with other shows we watch and review, you just kind of have to take what you put on paper, whatever you wrote down to match up. This could possibly be, but you know, it's not based on looks, it's based on personalities. So then it's the next day and we see Gurleen and the family having breakfast and they asked her, are you vegetarian? Well, the mom asked, are you vegetarian? Gurleen's answer, I'm not necessarily sure if she said she was or respected it, but wasn't necessarily now, because in the Indian culture, a lot of people are vegetarian. And then the mom was saying, well, you know, you got to eat something else to build up your protein. And so I think that Gurleen was listening, but kind of like not really. And so then the dad sits down and Sharif sits down and the conversation switches. And so the conversation talked about Sharif's beard and they asked Gurleen if she liked it. And she goes, not really, but it's okay. And they said, why? She says, you know, when you go kiss, you know, it could kind of like get in the way. And then the dad showed the cell phone of Sharif without the beard when he was, you know, he's a model. I forgot to say that Sharif is a model and he's also independent. And Gurleen is saying, oh, you look so much younger here. And then also too, in confessionals, why does the dad have a picture of him on the phone, just offer it up freely, you know, of his modeling pictures? Like she found that was weird. I didn't find that weird because I'm like, okay, so if I have pictures of my kids on my phone, if that's the picture I want you to see, and that's the one he has without a beard, then what's wrong with that? But again, I'm gonna get to the reasons why Gurleen may feel a certain type of way. So after breakfast, it's later on in the day, Sharif takes Gurleen out to a lunch. And, you know, it's to get more one-on-one time. As she's saying what she does for a living and about dating and her family dynamics are one of such that she wasn't used to showing and still isn't used to showing love and affection. She says she grew up in a household that was very strict. There was no emotions and no love she felt from her family. She said her parents or her mom or dad, one of them, has never said I love you till she's about 25 years old. That's the first time that she can remember. And so I can see why now that Gurleen doesn't care for the family dynamic that Sharif lives in, because she didn't get that growing up. Gurleen also said that the first chance she got when she left for college, she left, went to college, became independent, and never looked back, and she's always been living by herself. And so Sharif was saying, you know, he loves his family. He doesn't mind the family dynamic. And in confessional, he said that's something that he couldn't see himself getting up. But also, too, Sharif also tells us that he's never been in a long-term relationship with someone. He's only had one serious relationship with someone in the past. He didn't say how long ago it was, but that didn't work out, and he's been single ever since. So all these couples will definitely be one to watch. Next up is Phil. Phil gets a surprise visit from Erica, the matchmaker, and she tells him that today's the day. You need to have your stuff packed to go to the airport because today you're meeting your match. Phil is very surprised. He said that, you know what, he's ready to go, but, you know, he's got to get himself together. So while he's packing, you know, he's just throwing stuff in there. And Erica's saying, listen, be careful what you pack. You're going to be gone for a while. Make sure you pack for summer, spring, fall, because, you know, you never know the weather whenever you go somewhere, right? And so while he's packing, he's grabbing all kinds of wipes and different cleaning and hygiene products. And Erica's like, you're going to pack that? He goes, yes. He said, because cleanliness is next to godliness. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, what you mean he's going to pack that? One, you don't know where you're going. And two, I mean, how do you know there's a store close to you that's convenient or whatever? So if you could bring your own stuff in advance of that, I don't see the problem. And so while he's packing, getting himself together, we learned that Phil has lost his mother. And he was saying how, you know, mom think about him meeting a match that he didn't know and trusting in an expert. But he said at the same time, his mom would say, well, you know, Phil, life is like a roller coaster. So he rolls with that. And Phil is very emotional when it comes to his mom. I'm not sure how long ago he lost his mom. And just for him thinking of her in that way about what his mom would think, that was very sweet of him. So then before they get to the airport, Phil stops by the barbershop. I said, okay, Phil, get yourself together. I like that. So while he's in the barbershop, he has dreads, but he decided to cut them out and go for a fresh look. He said, you know what? Cutting my hair off will be a fresh start. But I'm just like, okay, you got yourself together. You didn't want to go looking any kind of way. And I can appreciate that. So finally, when Phil gets to the airport, Erica tells him, okay, you ready to know where you're going? He's like, yes, I do. So she gives him the ticket, and what does it say? It's Ghana. And Phil breaks down in tears again. He gets emotional because he tells Erica that Ghana was one of the last places that his mother was. She went there for work. I'm not sure it was for like with the church or be social or whatever kind of work she was there. She was there for many a time helping the people. And before she passed, she said that she would take Phil back, but she never got a chance to do that. And Phil he feels like it is like a connection to his mom. Like maybe this is meant to be. Maybe this is where his soulmate is. And maybe also too, he get a connection of feeling when his mom was there, seeing, you know, the good that she did while she was in Ghana. And Erica said, oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, so sometimes I think sometimes you get signs, I guess, you know, to know maybe this is where you need to be or the last place, you know, something like that. But again, just my opinion. So he finally lands, he's in the airport and he's walking around looking at his phone. He's like, I don't have no signal. I can't call nobody. I'm thinking Phil. And everybody on this show, you need to get you an international plan. But then again, you didn't know where you're going. So maybe you could get an international plan while you're there. So he gets in a cab and he's driving to his location and he's looking around and he's seeing how very different it is from Atlanta to Ghana. And he's saying, oh, wow, look at all these roadside markets. They sell everything from sunglasses to toilet paper to fruit to whatever they have on the roadside market. He goes, it's different from Atlanta. You have these water boys that come up selling you water water bottles on the side of the road, but geez, here they sell everything. But you know what? It's a different lifestyle everywhere you go. So that's just what it is. So as he gets closer and closer to his address, he's also noticing the lifestyle, the structures, the roads, how things aren't as modernized in the place of Ghana that he is. And, he's just thinking like, wow, like just things are just so different. So when he gets to the address, he rings the bell and opens the door is Carmen. At first glance, he's like, oh, okay, Carmen. And you don't have to say Carmen is attractive. She is welcoming to Phil. They have good conversation. They don't even seem like they're nervous at all. Matter of fact, I got the impression if you didn't know any better, you would have thought maybe they knew each other or something like that, And so as they walk in and she shows him the place, of course, he's looking around. He doesn't say anything about what it is. He's respectful about it. And they just get to talking. And then Phil in confessional says, you know what? She looked like she could be like relate to me like a long lost sister. I mean, they did kind of like favor a little bit, but I don't know. Hopefully nobody like your dad or whoever wearing a Rolling Stone and she's not a long lost sister. But either way, they look like a cute couple. We find out that Carmen is in fashion. She does print work and different little things like that. She moved to Ghana 4 years ago. She's originally from Austria. She said her dad is Austrian and mom is Kenyan. So she's half Austrian, half Kenyan. And then Phil tells her he's from, United States. And that he's never traveled anywhere except for Mexico. And, well, not except. He's never traveled anywhere. He's been to Mexico and Puerto Rico. So as the day goes on, they're relaxing, things like that. And Phil decides that, he goes to see his room and he goes to take a shower. Now, when he walks in there, he notices there's a bucket. And he's like, whoa, there's a bucket and a brush. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? She goes, well, you got to pull the handle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Well, apparently it's not modernized plumbing. And Phil has to use the bucket and a brush. He's asking for a washcloth. Now I'm thinking to myself, now is all the stuff you packed and you packed hygiene products. You didn't think to bring your own towel or washcloth, but clearly he's asking for one. So he didn't. So anyways, he's got that brush and he's going, whew, whew. So clearly the water is cold. Like I said, it's not modernized plumbing. It probably comes from like I said, mentioned a well or something from outside. So while he's trying to take a shower, Carmen calls her sister Cynthia, says he's there. Seems like a nice guy, just a little bit of small talk. So then Phil comes out the shower and Carmen's still talking to Cynthia. She puts her sister on the phone. A real brief conversation and that was really about it. And then after the call, they go outside to the top of the balcony and he goes, what's that smell? And apparently Carmen has to tell Phil that sometimes people in Ghana, they burn trash to get rid of it. So with Phil being OCD from with that shower, people burning trash, just the different conditions that he's not used to. I really hope he's here for the right reasons, because in confessional, he says, I don't know if I can live here, but we'll see. Next up, matchmaker Erica meets with Dana. Dana is a free-spirited music producer, songwriter, entertainer, all that stuff. So as she makes it to the airport, when Erica pulls out the ticket for her, she's going to Ireland. She's like, Ireland? Oh, is my match going to have like red hair and wear a kilt? She goes, oh, or am I thinking of people in Scotland? Either way, she's going to Ireland. So she's scared, but she's going. Now on the airplane, Dana seemed to have second thoughts because we see her in the bathroom on the airplane making a video talking about, emotional. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And if it doesn't work out when she comes back home, if she has to come back home, she won't have anywhere to stay. I mean, she's just a bunch of nerves. And I can understand why she's a bunch of nerves. You put your time into this relationship, expert, so you got to kind of go with the flow and see what happens. Because again, you never know. If it works out, if it does, great. If it doesn't, then you just have to come back home and follow back up on doing what you're doing, singing and your passion, things like that, and go from there. So she finally makes it to Ireland. She gets the address and she meets her match. His name is Brian. Now, what we learn about Brian is that he used to work in sales or something like that, about 15 years. And then he became a farmer. He wanted a more relaxed lifestyle. So he deals with chickens and vegetables, wheat or corn, things like that. And so the initial reaction from Dana was like, oh, he's attractive. And for Dana, it seemed like it was immediate attraction because she got all giggly, all giddy, all girly and everything. She's like, oh, hey, how are you? Brian, he seemed like he was attracted to her, but he wasn't like over the top the way Dana was presented, like she was attracted to Brian. As she comes in the house, they sit down, get to know each other. Brian says, so what is it that you do for work? How are you? And she goes, well, I used to be a stripper. The look on Brian's face was like, what? But she goes, no, I'm just kidding. I'm a singer-songwriter. He goes, oh, okay, and then that broke the ice. They got to talking, and then he mentioned about his farming career, and he used to be in sales, things like that. And you know what? They seemed like they were real comfortable with each other from the very, very beginning. Brian also gives Dana flowers. He gives her wine, make her more comfortable as they're talking, getting to know each other. And it just seemed like, again, the flow was going really, really good. So then he gets up to show her around the house. It's a 4-bedroom house. He's showing her the rooms, asking her which room does she want. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'll choose later. And then the next scene, we see them having dinner. Brian cooks a lasagna. And that was nice. He cooked for her and everything. So now by this time, I don't know if it's the wine or I don't know if it's Brian, naturally. But now he's getting to like, getting laughy giddy too. Now they're getting laughing giddy together. So then Dana says, you know what? I've been traveling all day. I just need to take a shower and I'm really tired, so I want to lay down. So he goes, okay, that's fine. Let me know when you're done. So she goes up to take a shower and everything. And so she calls him up, says that she's done. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm tired too, so what did you decide? Are we going to stay in the same room or what? Dana takes half a second. She goes, yeah, you can stay in here. So then Brian takes his clothes off and Dana says, well, thank God for red underwear. And he's like, yeah. And then he gets in the bed. And so whatever happens after that, happens after that. Finally, we have Aaron. Aaron's an optometrist living in North Dakota. He says that he's been looking for love a long time. When he was in LA, his partner ghosted him. He moved back. He came back to work in his brother's optometry office. He said he got into optometry because his dad's an optometrist, his brother's an optometrist, so he's followed the line. He's also an optometrist. So Brian also says that his family is very conservative. They at first weren't accepting of his lifestyle, but they came around to it. And so, he knows that they love him and everything, but Aaron's like, you know what? I just need something else to do. Aaron is ready to venture on and get away from North Dakota. I can imagine that. Think about that. From LA, the hustle and bustle to LA, if you've ever been there, a big city, to Fargo, North Dakota, where it's snowing and may not be as much as hustle and bustle. So Brian's family, when we saw them when they were eating dinner together, we're supporters of him. But even though his mom was more apprehensive and maybe they all didn't necessarily understand why he met it with a matchmaker, because he finally told them that's what he was doing. And, when she called, he had to go. They still supported Aaron in the things that he was doing. So then the next day, Aaron's at work, and then next thing you know, here comes Erica. She's like, hey, how are you? He's like, hey, Erica. She goes, guess what? It's time to go. So he puts his stuff down. Luckily, he didn't have a patient at the time. I guess he told whoever, then he had to go. So he goes home, he packs up his stuff, and then he pulls out something from underneath the bed. And Erica says, oh, okay, so you packing that? It was a box of Magnum. He was saying it's perfect because I'm tall and it matches. And I was like, okay, Aaron. So when he's done packing, they're on their way to the airport and he's anxious to know where he's going. As soon as they get there, Erica gives the ticket. And where's he going, everyone? Paris, France. He's like, wow, I've never been there before. And then you know what? I think he was trying to describe what France looked like. And I think maybe he was describing Italy. So I'm not sure how he's confused at that, but maybe it was me. Maybe I was the one confused. So while he's on the airplane, Aaron also does a video, and he's talking about, again, how he's nervous, how he's apprehensive, and he doesn't know what to expect. And is this the right thing for him to do as well? So, I mean, he gets past those nerves. I mean, but he's committed to go as well, just like Dana did the video. Aaron is committed, but, you know, he's, you know, if you've never been somewhere before, you're meeting a stranger. I guess that would bring up nerves, so I understand that. So when Aaron arrives to Paris, the cab driver is really nice. He's asking him, is this your first time? He says, yes. He goes, oh, well, welcome. And saying, well, have a good time. And so when Aaron makes it to the door opens and his match is Mael. Mael is 28 years old. He's a massage therapist and looking for love. In confessional though, Aaron said, well, he's cute and all, but he doesn't look like Thor. So I think Aaron is looking for a superhero to sweep him off his feet, but you have Mael, so maybe you can think of a superhero that he can be. I'm just saying. So when they get into the building, Mael is on the 4th floor. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the elevator. And even before Aaron made a comment to producers, that elevator looked like it was a size of a closet, a very, very, very small closet that could fit one, maybe two people if the other person is sideways. And so Mael said he lived on the 4th floor, and Aaron said, is it me? Or does that elevator look like it could hold, like it's a wine closet, like it's really small? And I'm thinking, yeah, me too. And Aaron is really tall, so I don't know, maybe he may want to consider the elevator, or maybe sometimes walking up the stairs to get there faster, or maybe he don't feel like he's scrunched down or claustrophobic or something like that. So when they get to Mael's apartment, Mael shows Aaron around, and it's not a very big place. And Aaron's thinking like, I didn't realize that it would be this small and that there would be only one room and I would have to like sleep with my match on the first night. So Aaron is kind of put off by this already. And here's my thing. No, you didn't know it would be small, but true, you know, if you're not comfortable with being in the same room with your match, I mean, I get that. So maybe someone could maybe sleep on the couch, I guess. I don't know. I think Aaron, in my opinion, is happy to meet his match, but at the same time, I think has a view in his mind about what the match should look like. That superhero Thor, a bigger place, and just different things that Aaron might be used to as far as money and financial and what status could buy, because that's what he's giving. Like he's into things, material things, and not, you know, what he has at Mael's place is not seem to be what he's getting. But at the same time, he knows that he's there for a possible match, so we'll have to see how it goes. And then our final single, NAEEM, I guess we'll meet him next week because that was the end of this week's episode. All right, well, so far, it looks like it's going to be a decent show. It gives me a little bit of 90 Day Fiancé vibes, but it's on Bravo, so, but still is along the same lines. So, all right, everyone. So again, this show comes out on Wednesdays on Bravo. Tell me what you think so far in the comments about these couples meeting up and the matches. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and don't forget to share this video as well. Thank you all again for watching. Until next week, live simply, live grateful.